Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Word Podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit up all those links down below. And now we can get into the episode. It is August 28th, 2020. It's Friday. Welcome in. It's the end of the work week if you're working. For the regular person, I know when I was working, there was rarely a time when I was working a regular job that I actually had weekends off, but it's just one of those things that you say, oh, it's the weekend, but if you're an adult and you have a job, more than likely the weekend is not the weekend. Usually your weekend is one day, maybe on the weekend, maybe a Saturday or Sunday, and then like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something. It's very rare that it's consecutive days off, but we are here towards the end of the week. It has been a crazy last couple of days. Just a lot going on, social, politically, and just all that kind of stuff. There's just too much to really get into all of it. We'll talk about the couple of Padres games yesterday and why there was two Padres games, and then I'm gonna go over Joe Jorgensen's kind of agenda plan or whatever it is on her website, and we'll kind of do a little bit more of a deep dive into her and her policies and what she believes in. And I'm excited about that. So yeah, like I said, Padres played two games yesterday. They had a doubleheader. The Mariners and the Padres, but I guess it was mainly the Mariners. On Wednesday decided not to play the game. They wanted to sit it out, boycott it, whatever, just due to all the other sports kind of doing the same thing. The NBA was going to cancel. A few of the other MLB teams canceled their games and stuff like that. It sounds like NHL wanted to maybe do something. I don't really know exactly, but yeah, it's just kind of crazy. There was that I believe Jacob Blake shooting, and people got outraged again, but I don't understand it. There's of course nobody should be shot. He didn't die. He is paralyzed. Police could have probably handled the situation a little bit differently, but when you look at the guy's record, you look at why he had the cops called on him, all this stuff. I don't know what they should have done in that situation. It probably could have been handled a little bit differently, but I don't know how. I don't have the answers for that. So it's like the police have weapons. They have a right to protect themselves and defend themselves and protect others. And if there was a report of him having a knife, I don't know what you do. Like, how are we going to demonize all cops for just doing their job? Like, I don't, it's a really slippery slope. It is tricky 100%. And I don't agree with violence, I really don't, but I don't know what you do in that position and in that situation. Like, we've seen so many videos of people being able to withstand the taser, out wrestle cops. You've seen videos where guys get back to their car and fire at cops with guns and stuff. So it's like, I don't know what you do in that situation. Like, you have to protect yourself. So I don't know. But yeah, then, it caused a bunch of outrage, a bunch of riots, a bunch of craziness going on. And then there was this kid from Illinois who drove about 20-30 minutes away to Wisconsin. So he did cross state lines with a weapon. And, there's videos of this kid, Kyle Rittenhouse. from earlier in the day. He was there to help clean up, help protect businesses, help protect people and all of that. And he was trying to be, you know, I don't know what this group was, but it's like it seemed like they were a well-formed militia and they were there to kind of help out and kind of keep things under order. And things got a little crazy. This 17-year-old kid got attacked, and he defended himself, got off a few shots. He did end up killing 2 people, which is, unfortunate. And he did shoot another guy who's had a gun in his hand and was about to kill him, and he just shot his arm. And I think the guy's arm now has to be amputated or something. And oh my gosh, like, it's a sad situation. So I'm not trying to make light of it or anything like that, but let me see if I can find it, because Disaster had a really funny joke tweet. I think it was on Instagram, because I don't think he has Twitter anymore. I think they blocked him. Okay, yeah, so here it is. Perfect. He has this picture of the guy who has the gun and his arm kind of shot, and he's holding his arm and stuff. And he says, "Join Antifa and become a lefty for life," because it looks like this guy's right arm got shot and has to be amputated. So I just thought that was pretty ironic, pretty funny. Not to make light of anything, because it is a terrible situation. But again, it's like, we have the right to defend ourselves. We have the right to protect ourselves. Again, I don't agree with him necessarily going across state lines and, doing that. Like, the whole situation seems a little fishy. I'm not going to lie. But if we're going to demonize and vilify people for protecting themselves who are being attacked, like, the dude got a skateboard smashed across his face. Or the back of his head, and like someone's trying to not curb stomp him, but just kick his head in the ground and stuff. So it's like, dude was protecting himself, and I don't know what else you can do. And from what it sounds like, he immediately didn't necessarily flee the scene, but he went to officers, told them what happened, and I guess they let him go. I don't know exactly what happened from there, why they didn't take him in. I don't know exactly what happened, but he kind of turned himself in and, at least told the cops what happened, because it's like, that wasn't what the plan was. That wasn't what the intention was, at least from my understanding of the whole situation. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be tripping, but I could be misinformed. But from all the videos, from everything that I'm seeing, this is kind of what's happened, and it's just caused a bunch of this outrage. And people, sports figures, media are all kind of conforming to the mainstream narrative, and it's like, of course nobody should be met with violence like that, but maybe just start complying with police. I don't know. Like, I've known in my couple of experiences, when I've asserted my rights and they don't like it, they will do kind of anything they want to try and get you in trouble. Like, I asserted my rights one time and they did not like it, and they threatened to take me in. That's just for sticking up for myself. So if you don't comply, if you're walking around grabbing, being super erratic and irrational, what do you expect is going to happen, man? Like, yeah, I don't like the cops either. I don't like what they do 90% of the time either, but they're still there. They are human, and they will make mistakes. And, you just kind of have to comply with them, even if they're breaking the law, even if they're being unconstitutional. Get it on record as best as you can. Because if that's the case, just comply, do what you have to do, and then present your evidence in court. And, justice should play out. but just don't resist and just please comply, because we don't want any more of these shootings, man. It's crazy. It's really crazy, man. But so that's why the Mariners decided to kind of boycott Wednesday's game. Made no sense to me, because then they just did a doubleheader yesterday. So it's like, did that even matter? I know people were like, yeah, it did, because it got all sports to stop and have the conversation. Cool. Conversation's there. It's been going on. It just seemed like a stunt 100%, especially when you realize, and it was brought to my attention from a tweet, that these boycotts came 4 years to the day of Colin Kaepernick's taking a knee for the national anthem in the NFL. So when you put all that together, it just seems like some bullshit to me. But what do I know? I don't know much, I guess. But I try and be well informed. I really do. I try and be well informed. But yeah, I don't understand why sports would just kind of fold to this. And but you see where they lie. You see where their agenda is, man. It's crazy. It's like they immediately jump out and try and make these changes for a guy with an alleged sexual assault allegation against a minor or something like that, from my understanding, that from everything I'm seeing that's going on. And then we're gonna like shut things down and have a conversation for this? Are you serious? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I really don't get it. I truly don't. And then I was getting Ben and Woods 97.3 The Fan yesterday kind of switched up their whole format and, let the people call in and be the voice and all that. But they said, oh, if you're going to just call to kind of point out the facts of the case, we don't want to talk to you. And then that made me so mad, dude. Like, I had to tweet out, I was like, oh, so facts don't matter? Man, that I see where you guys lie now. And then I was like, facts won't advance the conversation. I forget the exact thing, but I got into it a little bit, a little back and forth with, I know Woods is the one who's kind of doing the Twitter for that account, but and it's hard because I respect them, man. I like them as a radio crew, but it's like, if they're gonna kind of silence people who want the truth and want the facts, and it's like, you're doing a complete disservice to everybody. And if you're only gonna like conform to these one beliefs and stuff, it's like you're doing a disservice to everybody, and it's not okay. And it's really frustrating. But let's get into this dab. This is some Jack Butter from King's Garden. Let's get into it. Cheers. Just clean the glass too, clean water, everything should be nice. Damn. It's a good one. That was a good one. But shout out to the Padres, man, because Jace Tingler came out yesterday saying that his team, the Padres, they wanted to play. They were ready to play. They wanted to play, but they respected the decision of the Mariners. And I'm cool with that. I'm definitely cool with that. I was a little frustrated at first. I was like, fuck, dude, like the Padres, they're folding to this pressure. But then it sounds like the Padres wanted to play. So I appreciate that. Shout out to the Padres, man. And they kind of got a little bit of revenge yesterday in the first game, if you want to call it that. But I was hoping they were going to come out and just whoop up on Seattle just due to that whole situation going on. But hey, it is what it is. We'll take one out of the two of the doubleheader. Lost the series, but it is what it is, I guess. So let's get into yesterday's games a little bit. Um, so the first game was at like noon, started at like 12:10 or something. Both of these were seven inning games. Um, so the Padres were down 7-3. Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Or 7 to, yeah, 7-3 going into the bottom of the seventh. And then Padres had 2 outs. They had 2 outs left with Austin Hedges up. So it was like, oh, great. This is over. This is done. Then he got hit by a pitch. And then I forget the exact sequence of events. But, dude, the Padres ended up getting 7 runs in the seventh with 2 outs. And they ended up winning that game 10-7. It was a walk-off 3-run homer for Will Myers to end the game. It was crazy. I called it. I was with my dad, and Will Myers was up. It was right before the pitch, and I said, he's going to win it right here, home run right here, something like that. And then 2 seconds later, threw the pitch, and boom, gone. I was like, I called it, done, gone, boom, walk off. It was pretty cool to see. It's fun. And then the next game started about 30 minutes later, and it got ugly pretty fast for the Padres. Garrett Richards went like 2/3 of an inning, and he's not looking good. His last 2 games, he's gone like 2 2/3 or something like that. Just not good. Padres ended up losing this one 8-3. They couldn't really generate much of anything. Oh, I will say with that first game, Manny Machado hit like 2 home runs. He is getting really hot. I think he had like 3 hits or something in that first game. Just he's seeing the ball very well now. It's good to see. But yeah, this second game was not that good. They did get some hits. They had 9 hits, but couldn't generate any runs, man. Only the 3. And I don't know if it was all solo shots or what. No. I don't exactly remember what it was. Yeah, I just know that game looked a little ugly, but yeah, they just got to do something about that pitching, man. They got to figure out that pitching. Pitching and bullpen is a little rough right now, and that's something they really have to kind of figure out. And I don't know if you can make any moves during the trade deadline. I don't really want to see any of these core guys go, so I don't know. I don't know what you do. I really don't. But that's what it is. The Padres move on to Colorado Rockies. They have a series with the Rockies coming up. And they're going to be actually in Colorado for 2 games, it looks like. And then back to LA, it looks like, for a 3-game series. So big games, big divisional games coming up soon. Oh no, they got a 4-game series coming up. My bad. They got a 4-game series. I don't know why that was earlier in the season. My bad. I was looking at some previous stuff. Yeah, Colorado for a 4-game series coming up. And then then they're at the Angels. Okay. Angels in early September, then Oakland, and then Colorado again, and then San Francisco, then Dodgers, Seattle, Angels, and then close out in late September with San Francisco. So that's what the Padres have coming up. Got to get ready for this series in Colorado. 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st to close out this month. Shout out to the Padres. All right, now this is something I kind of really wanted to go over. I'll try and get through it pretty quickly. Jo Jorgensen, the Libertarian candidate for the president. I'm going to read some of her agenda, some of what she believes in. This is on her website, jo20.com. And yeah, let's just read through some of what she kind of believes in. Let's just read this. Joe's vision for our future. Generations of Republican and Democrat politicians have failed the people of America. Together, they've given us over $26 trillion in debt, trillion-dollar deficits, plus trillions more in unfunded liabilities. Non-stop involvement in expensive and deadly foreign war. Skyrocketing healthcare costs. The highest imprisonment rate in the world, even higher among racial minorities and the poor. A broken retirement system unable to pay promised benefits. Tariffs that are destroying markets for American farmers. Big government mandates and programs created these problems. To solve them, we need to make government smaller. Much, much smaller. So this is her stance on neutrality and peace. Her basic quote is, I want to turn America into one giant Switzerland, armed and neutral. And then I'm going to click learn more. And then it says, with all the military force needed to defend America's shores and soil against foreign attackers or invaders, armed and trained, able and ready to defend the life, liberty, and property of Americans against foreign aggressors. National defense means defending our nation, our country, the United States of America. Military self-defense for America is a good and necessary thing. Our country could not exist without it. Unfortunately, for the last 70 years, most elected Democrats and Republicans in Congress and the White House vote for and supported actions and policies and laws and taxes that made America far less defended, far less safe, and far less free. Elected, appointed, and hired Democrats and Republicans in the federal government have gotten us into and kept us in foreign wars and foreign countries for foreign interests. Virtually none of these foreign wars, warriors, or warmongers posed a clear and present danger to America's shore, soil, or the American people who live here. Virtually none were necessary for America's self-defense, yet these needless wars caused the injuries or deaths of hundreds of thousands of American soldiers, and the waste of trillions of tax dollars, and the creation of trillions of dollars of federal government debt. U.S. government involvement in these wars caused the deaths and injuries of hundreds of thousands of people in foreign lands and cost their citizens trillions of dollars in taxes and destruction, and needlessly created hundreds of thousands of enemies for us. It's time to bring America to peace. It's time for America to stop participating in foreign wars. We must stop inserting ourselves in them, stop allowing ourselves to be drawn into them. We must stay out. No American military personnel stationed in foreign countries. No military aid, no foreign aid, which is easily used for foreign military purposes. No loans for their governments, no loan guarantees, no American government economic sanctions or embargoes of any non-military, non-war materials going into or coming out of other countries, because sanctions and embargoes are nothing less than old-fashioned sieges. Yeah, so and it goes a little bit more, but that's just kind of a brief rundown of that, her stance on the military and how we should kind of treat it, and I agree 100% with that. We should not be having these wars. We should not be instigating these things. If there is some problems here on America, that is what the military should be for. But yeah, I agree 100%. We should not be having these foreign wars and funding them, and like we've done so many times in the past. It's crazy when you actually look at who we're funding then becomes our enemy, and yeah, it's just crazy. So that's that. I definitely agree with that one. Let's see her stance on the environment. This is the first little standalone quote. I will work to remove government barriers to replacing coal and oil power plants. And then I'll click learn more. We need to consider all scientific knowledge to care for our environment. I will work to remove government barriers to replacing coal burning and oil burning power plants in the United States with safe, non-polluting, high-tech nuclear power plants and allowing off-grid use of solar power. Worldwide, I believe we need to consider all scientific and economic knowledge to care for our environment, not cherry-pick data to support a predetermined outcome. Most pollution is generated in developing countries, so reducing pollution worldwide requires cost-efficient, zero-emission energy sources like nuclear. So that one's pretty brief. That was all that one has. Yeah, I guess I agree to an extent. You know, I've heard and seen, but that could be like her saying about the cherry picking of data. It's like I've seen where some of these other forms of power and energy are actually more harmful to the environment, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know where I stand with oil, gas, energy, fracking. I'm not really sure where I stand with all of that. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, solar and all that seems ideal, but I don't know if it truly is ideal. I don't know. I don't know. So let's get into criminal justice reform. As president, I will use my constitutional authority to end civil asset forfeiture. End civil asset forfeiture and pardon those convicted of non-violent, victimless crimes. Thank you. Thank you. So let's read this paragraph. It's just one paragraph. I'm appalled that the United States ranks #1 in the world for having the highest percentage of people imprisoned. I am also appalled that the federal government permits police to seize a person's assets without first convicting them of a crime and then keep most of the assets seized. This is literally highway robbery. As president, I will use my constitutional authority to end federal civil asset forfeiture prior to conviction and pardon persons convicted of nonviolent victimless crimes. I will also work with Congress to end the failed war on drugs and other victimless crime laws. See, now that is what something everybody should be getting behind, because if there is no victim, there is no crime, man. And you know, victim means a lot of different things, you know what I mean? If you're stealing from someone, then yeah, there's a victim. But if you're using drugs or something like that, there is no victim, man. Like you're making the conscious decision as an adult, as as a human, as your person, you know what you're doing. So to be a criminal for that just is insane to me. And I wonder if that would lead to kind of immigration and stuff, because technically there's no victim, but is there because of I don't know. Maybe it'll be explained in the next one, or maybe later down with like immigration or something. So let's get into education. As president, I will work to return control of education to where it belongs, parents, teachers, and students. I would work to return control to parents, teachers, and students. The Department of Education has failed. In the 40 years since the Department of Education was created, government spending on education has skyrocketed while the quality of education has declined. Students used to be able to work their way through college and graduate debt-free. As president, I will work to eliminate the Department of Education and return control of education to where it belongs, with parents, teachers, and students. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. It just doesn't seem like it's completely expounded upon. I could be wrong, though. I don't know. Just seems like there wasn't a whole lot of information there. I get it. I don't know how you implement it back to the parents, teachers, and students. I don't know how you facilitate the funds like that, but I like it. I don't like, I like not having a centralized thing that gets the funding and then is supposed to allocate it or whatever. I don't know how it's supposed to work, but yeah, there's this Department of Education who gets a ton of funding, but then the quality of everything has kind of gone on the decline. Then there's obviously an issue there. Something needs to change. Healthcare. Let's get into healthcare. We can reduce the cost of healthcare by 75% by allowing real price competition. I think this is what Trump did or is doing. I don't know. Republican and Democratic policies over the past 50 years are the reason healthcare has become so expensive. Their latest proposals to fix healthcare will further micromanage your costs and restrict your access to care while failing to solve the underlying problem. They differ only on whether this should be done by private insurance companies or government bureaucrats. This is the exact opposite of what needs to be done. We can reduce the cost of healthcare 75% by allowing real price competition and by substantially reducing government and insurance company paperwork. This will make healthcare affordable for most Americans while also reducing the cost of legacy programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and the VA. Yeah. I 100% agree. I don't know if that's kind of the same thing that Trump has already done, his executive order, or if that's something completely different, or I don't necessarily know, but without having free healthcare for everybody, like at least dropping the price down by 75%, that'd be huge. That would definitely make it more affordable for the average person, and it sounds like there would still be some of those programs in place to help with even low cost or free healthcare. But yeah, I don't know. Seems like so I agree with, cutting the cost 100%. However that can be done, if you can drop it by 75% and make it truly affordable, that I agree with that 100%. Social Security. As president, I would work to implement a solution like Cato's 6.2% solution. I don't know anything about that. Do you trust politicians to keep their promises? I don't. They spent every cent in the Social Security Trust Fund on other spending, leaving behind worthless IOUs. Other countries have successfully replaced their government-run system with individual retirement accounts safe from greedy politicians. As president, I would work to implement a solution like the Cato Institute's 6.2% solution, which would allow any American the opportunity to opt out of the current system while making the current system physically stable for those who choose to remain. Interesting. So I don't know what that Cato's Institute 6.2% solution is. I'll definitely look into that. But I like how she kind of is presenting a different option, saying, hey, if you want to stick with Social Security, you can. If you want to opt out, there can be this other alternative as well, this non-government funded RAN thing. I don't know. I'd have to look into it a little bit more, but I think that could be, at least another option. Just give us another option where we're not reliant on the government. I don't know. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. And now poverty. So we have like a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go over. Poverty right here. As president, I will work to eliminate policies that cripple an economic growth. The cure for poverty is a vibrant economy. From 1959 to 1969, the poverty rate was nearly cut in half while government did little to address poverty. However, after the war on poverty was fully implemented in the early 70s, progress stopped. 50 years of federal anti-poverty programs, zero impact. Government anti-poverty programs don't work. The real cure for poverty is a vibrant economy that generates plentiful jobs and high wages combined with an affordable cost of living. As president, I will work to eliminate policies that cripple economic growth. I will give special attention to regulations driving up the cost of housing and healthcare, as well as those creating barriers to create new businesses or entering professions. Finally, I will work to repeal laws and regulations that prevent individuals and charitable organizations from helping those in need. I like it. Yeah, I like it for sure. Um, and I agree, we need a good, strong economy. We need jobs. I don't know if she's really laying out a plan of how to bring jobs, or generate more jobs, but I like it, like that's definitely the key. That's definitely what is needed to have to give people a chance, to especially with what she's talking about. If she can cut if more jobs at a livable wage, cutting the cost of living, cutting the cost of healthcare, like how much better, cutting taxes. Like I know she's gonna be talking about cutting taxes in one of these. Just how much extra income you would be making and have for yourself or to be able to help others. Like, dude, it's just crazy. Like when you realize how much the government takes from you, it's like over, especially if you're like super wealthy and have a ton of money, you get taxed over 50%. It's insane, man. And that's like for what? I don't get it. So government spending. As president, I will use my constitutional authority to block any new borrowing. I like that already. I will veto any spending bill that will lead to a deficit. I like it. As president, I will use my constitutional authority to block any new borrowing. I will veto any spending bill that would lead to a deficit, and veto any debt ceiling increase. I will give every cabinet secretary a specific spending reduction target to meet and hold them accountable. There is simply no excuse for sticking our children and grandchildren with the bill for these bipartisan bloated budgets. Hell yes, I agree with that. Give every cabinet secretary a specific spending reduction target. Like, I like it. And then accountability. I believe it. Like, that's definitely what is needed. Can't be spending or borrowing or taking anymore. It's pretty crazy. Let's get into trade and immigration. The freedom to trade and travel are fundamental to human liberty. I will work to remove trade barriers and tariffs. The freedom to trade and travel are fundamental to human liberty. As American citizens, we should be free to travel anywhere we choose and to buy and sell anywhere in the world. As president, I will use my constitutional authority to eliminate trade barriers and tariffs and work to repeal arbitrary quotas on the numbers of people who can legally enter the United States to work, visit, or reside. Yeah. So this is one, I agree with to an extent. If we let just everybody come in, then there can definitely be a problem, and that's kind of why we have these things in place. But at the same time, I do 100% believe that we should have the right and freedom to travel wherever we choose. It's in our Constitution. So I don't know if that means just throughout our country, we should have the freedom and not have these border checkpoints halfway into a city or whatever. You know what I mean? Like these highway patrol stop points. Like I don't understand why those are even a thing. And that goes back to if there's not a victim, there's no crime. So I don't know. So It sounds like she's talking about we should be able to travel freely all over the world, but that's just not the case because other countries have laws and stuff too. But if she just means like we should be able to freely travel throughout our own country, 100%. There should not be these state or these, like I said, these highway patrol border stops. Like, fuck that, dude. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. And it's super invasive, and they just like they check your like. It's dumb. I don't agree with that stuff at all. But okay, but she did say people who can legally enter United States. So yeah, legally. I guess I just skimmed over that. But yeah, so it sounds like she still wants there to be a process of getting here legally. So just like any country, man, just like any other country, there's a process to become a legal citizen. But she'll probably make it a lot easier. Not all these extra barriers and stuff. I don't know. That's one, I agree with the right to and freedom to travel. I think some of these need to be kind of more thought out, or again, maybe I just need to do a little more research on her and stuff and see exactly where she kind of lies. Maybe I'll go check out the interviews she's done with Adam Kokesh, because that's how I kind of fell in line with the Libertarian Party, was through him. And he's had her on at least once that I know of, and probably a couple of times. So I will definitely try and go find out some more about her through kind of interviews and stuff. This is just kind of text reading. They're interviews, it's quotes from her and stuff, but I think video and seeing someone's personality and how they interact and respond can tell a lot, so let's get into her views on taxes, and then this is the last one, and then we will get on out of here. As president, I will work tirelessly to slash federal spending and let you keep what you earn. Yes, I like it. I will work tirelessly to slash federal spending. Taxes are never voluntary. No, they are not. Sorry, I had to say that. Taxes are never voluntary. They are always paid under the threat of punishment. If you fail to pay what government says you owe, you can be fined, have your wages garnished, assets seized, even go to prison. Voting for more government spending inevitably leads to higher taxes to pay for it, now or in the future. As president, I will work tirelessly to slash federal spending, make government much, much smaller, and let you keep what you earn. And boom, that is the mic drop, I would say. It's like, especially when you have went through everything like I did, I think it was laid out perfectly, like in that order, because it's like, we'll cut this, we'll cut the spending of this, your cost of living will go up, or cost of living will go down. I mean, rental prices and housing will go down, healthcare go down, all this, taxes, and then taxes will be cut and you'll be able to keep more of your money. So boom, just generates, I don't want to say wealth, but it gives people a more fair chance to get ahead and kind of do something with their life, instead of just being stuck in the rat race and just being stuck and beholden to the government, man, and their programs and what they want and all that. It's crazy, but yeah, shout out to Jo Jorgensen. I'm definitely going to be doing more research on her. I definitely felt it was important to kind of read through that, since I did read through Trump's agenda plan. Like I said, I'm not going to do Biden's or anything like that. I don't agree with basically anything of what they believe in. So definitely shine the light on those two. Between the two, they're both, pretty good. But again, I would have to go more with Jo Jorgensen, because I believe in freedom. I believe in basically all of what she said. You know, I'm sure there's going to be things that I disagree with her on, but overall, that's what you have to vote for freedom. You know what I mean? And if the people who said I would vote for libertarian, but you know, that would just be voting in Biden, or that would just be voting in Trump. If all those people who said that actually voted libertarian, like they really wanted to, and then she got the people who don't normally vote because they don't like the two-party system. So if there was a way to bring awareness to those people and they all voted libertarian, you got that like 20-something, 26% or whatever it was. I'm telling you, can make real changes come out of nowhere. They'd be like, what just happened? Did we just lose? What? It's crazy. I don't know, man. It's crazy though. It could happen. They probably wouldn't let it happen. It'd probably be rigged regardless. I don't know though, man. It's interesting. But I definitely agree with a majority of what she says, and I just find it funny how there's not that woman support like there was for Hillary, you know, when Hillary was going, oh, we have to vote for a woman. I'm only voting for her because she's a woman this, woman that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I even said then, I have no problem voting for a woman, just not her. I don't like her. I don't agree with her. If the right woman comes along, I'll definitely vote for it. And, you know, I would definitely vote more for Joe Jorgensen than Biden, and I won't ever vote for, you know, I don't think I would ever vote for the two-party system. I won't say ever, but, you know, I don't agree with that. So I would rather use my vote to make real change. I didn't even tell you what this was. Let's get into the dab first, and I'll tell you what this wax was. Cheers. So this was Mr. B's extracts. And it was a grape pie. Just trying to see the THC percentage. 81.58%. It's pretty high. That is a pretty high one. Normally I'm getting them in the like mid 70s lately. I just told my dad to pick me up something random between this price and this price, and so I don't know. I don't know if they didn't have anything cheaper or what, but it's a little bit more than I would have liked, but it is super flavorful. It is really potent. Yeah, flavorful. Shout out to Mr. B's extracts. Great pie. I like it a lot. But that was kind of all I had for today. You know, there's, like I said, a lot going on. I could have done a whole half hour on the boycotts and the Jacob Blake and the Kyle Rittenhouse whole thing. Could have probably did a whole episode on it, actually. So my thoughts were a little bit brief on it. But I did say I wanted to go over Joe Jorgensen's plan today, so that's kind of what I wanted to get to. I feel like that's really important. The RNC was on last night. I was watching some of that through the Steven Crowder live stream. And it was a good speech, man. It was a good speech. It's crazy. There was like protesters, rioters, whatever, protesters, like And then it got physical after. There was even like one incident right before, just right outside of the White House, man. It's crazy. It's getting real. Tensions are high. Tensions are high, and it's getting scary out there. So stay safe, everybody, and have a good weekend. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just crazy out there right now. It's just crazy. It really is. Just stay safe, healthy, just love each other, Be there for each other. Your friends, your family. Just come together, you know, and let's get through all of this. We'll get through all of this. All right, everybody. I will be back on Monday. Till then, peace.